Hi, in this video we're going to talk about the y equals mx plus b form of a linear equation. You're going to, by the end of this video, understand what exactly the form is, what each letter stands for, why it's important, and how to put an equation into this form, and also, given a line, how to find the equation in y equals mx plus b form. So let's get started. First of all, what is y equals mx plus b? So this form is actually quite straightforward. We have our y and our x that we're talking about. So if, again, these are the y and x coordinates. So when we're talking about y equals mx plus b, we want to know, we already know what y and x are. So our curiosity here is, what does m stand for and what does b stand for? So m, to remind you, is always the slope of the line, which, if you don't remember what that is, the slope is the change in y divided by the change in x. So we'll get more into how to find slope and exactly kind of what it is a little bit later. But let's first finish up with what the b stands for. So the b is actually the y-intercept. And if you don't understand what the y-intercept is, I'd encourage you to watch the video on finding x and y-intercept, which is also in this folder. So those are what these letters stand for. One of the really fascinating reasons that this is a great form to put a linear equation in is, first of all, you know these things right off. It gives you a lot of information. You know that you have your slope, right, the coefficient of x, and then whatever is being added or subtracted to x is the y-intercept. This makes it really easy to graph your line. It's also really easy to find points for your line, because all you have to do is substitute a point in, x, whatever x is. So if x equals 1, you put it in your equation, and it'll pop out your value for y. So what we're going to focus on here is how to put this equation into y equals mx plus b form. So if you have an equation such as 3y plus 6x equals 12. Now look at this equation. It is kind of difficult to figure out, if you wanted to plot points for this equation, it's hard to figure out what two values you could plug in for x and y to make them equal 12. So 3 times what plus 6 times what equals 12. Now when we put it into y equals mx plus b form, you'll find that this is actually quite easy to find. Now to do this, what you need to do is you need to solve. We are solving for y. So this is our goal. Now, how do we solve for y? Well, we do this just like any other equation. We need to isolate our y term. We're trying to get y by itself. So to first do this, I'm going to subtract. So say we have 3y plus 6x equals 12. I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you must do to the next. Now, this will simplify to 3y, this crosses out, right? This is plus 0 equals 12 minus 6x. Now this is where a lot of students get tripped up. And the reason is they try to combine unlike terms, or they don't know what to do when they see this. It's like 12 minus 6x, I can't do that. Well, you can. What you can't do is combine these like terms. So if you have 12 minus 6x, or two unlike terms, you just write those out. So I have 12 minus 6x, right? So I have the same thing up here. I can't combine these terms because they're unlike. Now I simplify, so I have 3y equals 12 minus 6x. Now the last thing I need to do is get y by itself. So I can use inverse operations. It's 3 times y, so if I divide each term by 3, I should get y by itself. So that leaves me with y equals 12 divided by 3 is 4, and negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. So now I'm left with y equals 4 minus 2x. Now I'm really close to my form. Remember, if we look over here, we want to get into the form y equals mx plus b. So notice the term with x is in front. So I need to move that around. In order to do that, I need to make sure that this is not in subtraction, it's in addition. So this is y equals 4 plus negative 2x, and now I can rearrange these terms. Y equals negative 2x plus 4. So in this, if we look at this equation, we've now put it into the y equals mx plus b form. This negative 2 is our slope, and positive 4 is our y-intercept.